We're breaking down a secret hot route glitch that's going to allow you to make hot routes that shouldn't otherwise be possible. Now, this glitch was initially found in Madden, but it works here in college football as well, and so I want to make sure everyone is aware of it so that you can have all the hot routes you could ever imagine at your disposal. Now, in order for this to work, we need to find a play that has a receiver on a pre-snap auto motion. And so this play right here has our inside trips receiver on the right side on this auto motion wheel route, which makes this perfect for us. And I'll quickly go into the play call screen and show you guys the play that we're in. But a lot of playbooks, probably most playbooks in the game, have some kind of play where a receiver is on auto motion pre-snap. In this case, we're in the formation gun trips, and the play is motion wheelies. So that's what we're going to call for offense. We'll just put the defense in cover 3 sky for now. Now, before we actually do any hot routing, the thing that you need to know is when you flip your play out on the field, you need to know which receiver is going to end up on the auto motion, and we'll see why in just a second. And so I'm just going to go ahead and flip the play real quick. What we're going to see is after we flip the play, for me, it is the RB receiver who ends up on the auto motion. And so whatever play you choose, you need to make sure you go into practice mode and you understand who will end up on the auto motion after you flip the play out on the field. And so now that we know that, we can do the hot route glitch. And so what this hot route glitch is going to allow us to do is make inverted hot routes. And by inverted, what I mean is that hot routes that go in the opposite direction from what they're supposed to go. And so, for example, let's take my A receiver and let's say I put him on a slot fade. Well, slot fades break to the outside. An inverted slot fade would break to the inside. And so that might sound kind of weird, but let me show you guys what it's going to look like. All we have to do is a little trick where we flip the play, and before you know it, now we have a slot fade breaking to the inside. It is obviously our inside trips receiver on the left side this time. And so let's talk about how I made this slot fade. Well, all you have to do is when you flip your play, the player who will end up on the auto motion, so for me it's going to be the RB receiver, you just hot route him onto whatever route that you want to be inverted. And you have to do it before he crosses the center. And so in this case, he is on the right side. We have to make the hot route while he's still on the right side of the center. Once he crosses to the left side of the center, it's going to be too late. And so I'm going to go ahead and do it again. So we're going to flip the play, and while they're motioning, quickly hot route him onto a slot fade. And now we have this inverted slot fade right here. And so you may be saying, well, when would I even want to use a route like that? Well, let's say your opponent's running a lot of cover 2. Let's say you want to attack the deep middle. And we can go ahead and maybe put some streaks on the outside and an out route. Maybe we'll block our running back. And all of a sudden, we have a route that is literally tailor-made to attack the deep middle of a cover 2. And so, I mean, there's not really going to be any stock route like that in your playbook, but now you can just make it with this easy hot route trick. But now let's talk about some other routes that you could do. We could do this with a flat route. And so let's go ahead and flip our play, hot route them onto a flat route. And now we have an in-breaking flat route, which I know it looks kind of weird, but let's say you just need to get literally 1 yard and you need something shallower than a slant. Well, this flat route is going to cross so shallow that it's borderline impossible for any zone defender to guard it because it's so shallow and so quick. And you've essentially made the shortest and fastest slant in the entire game with your inverted flat route. So that's a really good route. Let's say you want a really big zig route, but the problem is that when you do hot rod zig routes, they're really tiny. They don't really break very deep, and you would rather have a deep zig route. Well, what you can do is you can actually make an inverted return route. And so you can, on the RB receiver, that's what a return route looks like, but let's do an inverted return route. And so let's go ahead and flip the play, put him on a return route, and now we get an inverted return route, which is really just going to be a really big zig route. And I absolutely love a really big zig route like that. And obviously, we'd probably want to do a little bit better route combo for the rest of the players. Maybe we'd want to go ahead and just kind of drive those guys deep because that linebacker kind of played it pretty well. And so obviously, you'd have to like play around with what you want to do with these route combos. But I'm just trying to show you guys the incredible power that you have when you can utilize these inverted hot routes to your advantage. And those three that I just showed you, the inverted slot fade, the inverted flat route, and the inverted return route are some of my favorites. But you are truly limited only by your own creativity when it comes to doing these hot routes, because you could literally do anything. You could have an outbreaking crosser if you wanted to. Here's an outbreaking deep cross. I don't even know if I would want this as opposed to a corner route, but you could totally run an outbreaking deep crosser if you wanted to. Look how quickly he gets to the sidelines. And so you have the freedom to do that if you want. Those are all at your disposal here with this hot route trick. And so I wanted to make sure that you guys knew about this trick because it is a lot of fun to build all sorts of new route combos when you start taking advantage of inverted hot routes.